The What If series is going to ask a question that a lot of individuals have brought up. But the interesting thing about this is, what would the outcome look like? In the first episode of the What If series, I'm going to go over the simple question, what if we had mulligans? To explore this concept, I'll be presenting hand scenarios to show how it would improve or make the game worse. By the end of the different mulligans, I'll give you my objective opinion on what kind of mulligans, if any, would be best for the game. RNG plays a huge factor in trading card games, and with Digimon, we're blessed to not have to deal with energy cards or lands, for those familiar with Pokemon and Magic the Gathering respectively. Additionally, Digimon is not like Yu-Gi-Oh, where you can pretty much play out every card in your deck on the first turn for a first turn kill, or FTK for short. Instead, we are restricted to our resource system in the form of memory. However, being forced to give your opponent more memory than necessary is something that is completely out of the player's control if they brick. And honestly, who doesn't like back and forth interaction and actually seeing your Digimon digivolve to next level? Mulligans would fix this aspect. I'll discuss 5 different types of mulligans and run through a scenario with each one. The first mulligan will be a classic London mulligan from Magic the Gathering. Here, a player may declare a mulligan if they feel their hand is unsatisfactory. They may place their cards back into the deck, shuffle, and draw one less card than before. A player may repeat this as many times until he or she is satisfied with their hand or their hand reaches 0. With Digimon, an opening hand is 5 cards. Mulliganing puts you down to 4 cards, and another mulligan would set you to 3. The thing about Digimon though is that with each Digivolution, you draw another card. There are many cards in the different sets that already let you draw more cards, or search and add multiple cards to your hand. In Pokemon the trading card game, you need at least one basic Pokemon card in the opening hand to start the game. And their rule forces a player to shuffle their hand into the deck until they draw at least 1. To dissuade abuse of this rule, the opponent may choose whether they would like to draw an additional card each time it's performed. For Digimon, it could be as simple as after security has been placed and hand dealt, if a player is unsatisfied with their hand, they may shuffle back their hand and draw a new one. The opponent may draw an additional card each time this action is taken. Remember, rookies aren't a requirement, at least not for all decks. Mega Zoo and Security Control may not even have rookies to play. Honestly, depending on the deck, some decks may want certain cards in their hand more likely than others, and like this mulligan for their opening hand. This is completely optional, but also keeps a player's opening hand to 5, unlike Magic the Gathering. Dragon Ball Super. I haven't played this card game, so if my intel is wrong on this, I apologize in advance. Dragon Ball Super's mulligan is super simple. If you don't like your hand, shuffle back in your deck and draw the same number of cards. You only get 1 though. Probably the most balanced, but you could also get a worse hand. The thing about RNG is, you may get a better outcome, you may get the same outcome, or it could be worse. Honestly, there's not much to say about this one. After all, it's the Pokemon mulligan just one time. For mulligans, I looked at the wiki page to see what other card games have. The fourth one I'll be going over is LCG's Ashes Rise of the Phoenixborn. Never heard of this game, never played it. So I have no idea what kind of interaction you'd be expecting. But let me be clear. This is the last mulligan or way I would ever handle the Digimon trading card game. To set up your hand perfectly would be unhealthy for the game. Every person would probably select a level 3 Digimon, a level 4 Digimon with an evo cost of 1, and then from there, depending on your combo, build right up to 6 or board wipe removal. Honestly, this is the last type of mulligan I'd want in the game. The last mulligan isn't really a mulligan, but more so how Digimon used to be handled in the late 90s. Remember that old Digimon Digi-Battle card game I've talked about in older videos? Well, this card game revolved around digivolving your rookie to next level, and you got to select your rookie from your deck before you shuffled your deck and set everything up. If this is something my viewers want to see, I actually have a few decks built from this and can do games or go over the game just for nostalgia's sake. For the new Digimon TCG, my recommendation would be to give both players the option to select one level 3 Digimon from their deck. Both players would reveal this card to the other in order to confirm that it is indeed a level 3, then the deck is shuffled. Security is set, and both players draw 4 cards. The only issue is, what if your deck doesn't have any rookies? should you be penalized for not being able to add any rookie to your hand at the beginning? Or should you be rewarded for not having to use this rule? Additionally, this telegraphs information immediately for both players, which can already force a player to play around certain cards. In this video, I've gone over 5 mulligans, or ways that Bandai could have had players start their opening hands. Of the 5 I've gone over, I would put LCG Ashes, Rise of the Phoenixborn in the never gonna happen category. Especially for games 2 and 3 when you're going to know exactly what they're playing and at that point add all the cards to your opening hand to counter them. Playing against Rookie Rush? 3 Takumi Ibis to my opening hand please. It's just not healthy. Dragon Ball Super's one and done mulligan is risky, and overall I don't think it helps solves the problem if you open up 2 bad hands twice. It's fair, but it's also not necessarily a guarantee. With Digimon Digi-Battle's rookie selection, I like this, but overall feel that it punishes decks that may or may not have rookies. Mega Zoo, while not a great deck to play right now with other decks out, sometimes doesn't run that many, if any. And there's no balanced way of rewarding players who don't utilize this rule. Magic the Gathering and Pokemon are similar overall in their ways of mulliganing. However, Magic the Gathering has a cost. If you mulligan, you lose a card each time, while Pokemon puts you at a disadvantage by giving your opponent more resources. Both of these methods of mulligans are balanced, but I would lean towards the Pokemon mulligan overall to promote healthy gameplay with 5 cards for the player who does use the mulligan. Overall, my favorite mulligan would be the Pokemon TCG mulligan rule. For Digimon though, you would just shuffle your hand repeatedly until you're satisfied with it at the expense of giving your opponent another card to their hand each time you do it. You get to keep your 5 cards, and your opponent can get as many as 1, 2, however many cards they want. Although any sane player wouldn't keep drawing because they'd probably deck themselves out. At most, I'd probably stop drawing after I saw a level 3, a 4, and 5 because with those 3 Evos, I'd already dropped probably into my level 6. That being said, deck building has changed substantially from Special Booster 1.0 and onward. Bandai has subsequently created more and more cards to assist with unbricking. With the Digimon card game, searching is always an aspect that can help unbrick your hand. And even though the earliest sets introduced tamer searchers, it was later sets that would give us the capability to find Digimon with color restrictions, specific typing, or a partial name match. Now with the release of Memory Boost, there's not only ways to temporarily give you more memory for a turn, but when playing them, a very broad spectrum way to search. Because of this, I personally do not think a mulligan rule is necessary, because the game has evolved to a point where consistency can be managed, even if it's not on the opening turn. What do you think of mulligans in the Digimon TCG, and which mulligan rule did you like seeing on this video? Is there another mulligan rule that I hadn't explored? And finally, do you personally think a mulligan is necessary? Let me know in the comments below. Next time, what if the Digimon trading card game had a sideboard? This is DIGI-PANDA. Logging out.